We've been saying forever in the nerdy community that when it comes to big, amazing, blockbuster movies, just give us the big, long runtime. We don't care, 3 hours, 4 hours, we'll sit through and watch it. And now we're hearing that Avengers Endgame might be the first movie to actually deliver on this crazy desire.
Stay up to date about the nerdy things that you care about. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss the next episode.
Woo! Happy Thursday, everybody. I am Josh. This is the Den of Nerds. By the way, I've had a lot of people ask me like what my name is. I used to say that in videos all the time, but I guess I haven't been, and the channel's much bigger now, so a lot of people are confused. I am Josh. This channel and company is called the Den of Nerds. Cool. You're gonna love this news. It has two really big aspects of it that are crazy. But before we get into it, let's shout out Curtis Badger, who got the nerd card question correct in the show yesterday. Yes, indeed, Kid Fisto does have a green lightsaber, and actually, it can ignite underwater. Bet you didn't know that, Curtis Badger, or maybe you did, I don't know. Either way, shout out to you, and we'll do another nerd card question at the end of this video. Holy cow, it's been a crazy, nerdy week coming off of the Super Bowl, getting crazy leaks for Star Wars Episode 9, and the hits just keep on coming, guys, because yesterday there was a report on Collider in an interview where they were talking to the Russo brothers about the run length and the time that Avengers Endgame will be. Now, the last time we heard from the Russo brothers about this, they said the cut was around 3 hours. And we were all like, wow, that's awesome. What's it actually gonna be in the theaters? Because there's no way Disney's gonna let you run with a 3-hour runtime. And yet, according to the report on Collider, not only is the official runtime for the current cut of Avengers Endgame 3 hours in length, but they have shown it to multiple screening audiences and it has done very well. But again, like, there's no way Disney's gonna let them keep 3 hours, right? I mean, look, when this kind of stuff happens, we've seen it happen before. People on the creative side, the people that are making the films, they have no problem with a longer movie. And especially when it comes to like emotional beats and just story threads, you can make 3 hours and 3.5 hours work, you know? You know? Do you know? And it's usually the studio that's like, dude, no way. If we shave 20 minutes off this, we can fit 16 more showings in these different markets, blah, blah, blah. There's no way we can have your 3-hour movie. We need as many screen times as possible. We need to be bringing in the revenue. Classic example of this was back when the Justice League movie came out and Kevin Tsuchihara had this weird, arbitrary 2-hour mark. The movie had to be less than 2 hours, which honestly, just one of the many things that went wrong with Justice League. But my point is, this happens a lot with studios. They're like, no. We're taking this down a notch. We can't have it be the length that you want. But according to the report from Collider, Disney's strongly considering running with this 3-hour runtime. Check out what they said right here to that question. I think the studio is down with what the best story is. Right now, we think the movie is playing well, and we've had great responses from our test audiences, and we're feeling very good about where it is. We're still doing work to it. We're not done with it. Again, this is the culmination film of 22 movies. It's a lot of storytelling to work into it. Emotion is an intrinsic part of that to us. When you have to tell a really complicated story and you want strong, emotional moments with the characters, it just requires a certain amount of real estate. This one in particular feels like 3 hours worth of real estate. Now, the next question asked was about an intermission, something like what happened with The Hateful Eight in that theatrical release. And the Russo brothers said that they had screened this movie 4 different times, and in the first 3 screenings, not a single person went up to use the bathroom. So they basically were saying that they don't think an intermission is required. So that's the official news. Check out the report at collider.com for all the little details and intricacies of the interview. But man, let's wrap it up and like summarize what is actually going on here. It may well be possible that Avengers Endgame will end up being a 3-hour cut, and Marvel has completely earned this. As they talked about in the interview, this is the culmination of 22 films. Not only that, it is an end cap to one of the craziest two-parters we've ever seen in cinema. Infinity War was absolutely insane. By the way, that ran at 2 hours and 40 minutes, and we do know that Endgame will be longer than that, almost guaranteed. So it feels like this type of a movie can actually make it work. And guys, this is absolutely insanity. Like, we've always wanted this. I've always said, like, screw it, make it 3 hours. Like when it comes to Star Wars movies or Marvel movies or even DC stuff, I'm like, no, make it 3 hours. Just give us all the juice, man. I'll sit there in a theater. And it might actually happen with Endgame. I think this is just absolute insanity. But again, this is like a special kind of an event film. This is really unprecedented when it comes to cinema and just nerdy stuff in general. So man, if we get a 3 hours cut, I'm like totally down. Also, very important to note here, This thing's been screened 4 times? Are you kidding me? There's been 4 select audiences that have seen Avengers Endgame. How do we not have more leaks than that? That's absolute craziness to me. I don't know who these test screening people are or whatever, but they must really have this under wraps because I haven't seen anything pop up online as of yet. Also important to note, if this movie is indeed working at a 3-hour length, then a lot of the stuff that we've seen in the teaser trailers and in the official trailer will likely actually be in the film. I know there's been a lot of talk about how a lot of this marketing could be fake or misleading, and a lot of these story threads won't be in the film. Now, I've actually reported on this a lot and speculated about it because ultimately they just don't have a lot of time in this movie. The amount of stuff they have to accomplish and the character beats and getting to beating Thanos, it's crazy. So I really feel like they have to get moving. However, if we're working on a 3-hour cut, and note that the Russo brothers talked about the emotional impact and how that's really important and you need the real estate for that, then yeah, I could see them spending 20 minutes to a half hour on Earth before any type of a plan is conceived and before they go to get Tony Stark. And so maybe that's 100% accurate and we're just looking at different shots throughout the picture, but being shown that little story of that time on Earth and with Nebula and Tony. So that's important to talk about as well. But that is the news, guys. Holy mother of God. We might actually get a 3-hour cut for Avengers Endgame. The hype is so real when it comes to this movie. I think it would be absolutely amazing. I just won't be able to drink as much like soda and shove as much popcorn in my face so I don't have to go to the bathroom. But I want to know what you guys think about this. Are you down for a 3-hour cut? You think they should trim it a little bit? Whatever you're thinking about this and anything nerdy related, let me know in the comment section below. Now let's check that nerd card before we get out of here. I want to know, what is actually the shortest runtime of any movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Answer that question in the comment section below. That's gonna do it for this one. Guys, just so you know, we will be doing our Patreon live stream very soon, sometime in February, probably next week, where me and all the Patreons get together and talk about all the insider stuff, the behind the scenes stuff. So consider checking out the Patreon if you have not. And I'm gonna be on Twitch tonight. Gonna be streaming something. I don't know what it'll be, probably MTG Arena, maybe some of that Apex Legends game. I don't really know. Let me know what game you wanna watch tonight and come hang out with me on Twitch. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.